Right, welcome to Bragging Rights, episode 30. It's not 35, it's 33.
No, it can't
I was going to
33.
say 32.
It's 33.
Another episode of Bragging Rights.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, yeah, it's sponsored by Comscaf and recorded at Tribal.
33.
I know, I said that.
Yeah, but
I knew it.
We have to double check nowadays.
I knew it. It was him.
Since when Josh got it wrong.
Anyway,
Best episode ever.
how are we all doing?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you, James?
I'm very well, thank you.
Fantastic. And Dean, how are you?
I'm really well, thank you.
And Craig.
Yeah, I'm great.
Perfect.
Really good.
Good lads, I'm pleased.
He's a lot chirpier this week, isn't he?
He is, isn't he?
I don't know why.
I've had a great weekend minus Rovers. Sat at home on the couch eating Canadian sweets and cereal and popcorn. Loving it.
Great weekend, just minus Rovers.
Just minus Rovers.
So the Dolphins didn't lose,
Nope.
the Dons didn't
Nope.
draw.
The other two Rovers sides, which I'll speak about a bit later on, they brought it back for me, so it was
We've
an
spoken about it in
average
quite a
sporting
while,
weekend.
actually, because we're going first.
Well, yeah, quite a while. Oh, go on then.
yeah.
That'll be one of the photos you can put on your celebration end of the year.
He's been waiting to
The
say
weeks
that.
that we went first, all
He
three.
was
of
waiting
them.
for James to say, we go first, and Josh has had that just churning over in his head all
Yeah, but
day.
one of them was by a courtesy,
Why?
because we let you go first after the Challenge Cup.
Yeah, because we won by a massive score and handed you the league, handed you the cup.
Yeah, we still had to win it, didn't we? Took an hard route, not like when they won it, but
It's always hard when you play
Oh,
more
yeah.
games, but yeah.
Whatever. Go on then. Let's talk about
All
versus whoever it was that
the
turned up.
worst team to come to the stadium this year. And we've lost a lot at home. And we've played Salford at home this year. They was awful, weren't they?
They were, yeah. Yeah, like so, the Salford game was different, wasn't it? Like you kind of expected it. They had a lot of kids out. Like there was still a lot of art and passion you could tell coming out of that Salford team. But Warrington this weekend,
Yeah.
nothing.
Dan Tomlinson summed it up with one of his headlines in his write-ups this week, and he put, youthful Hull FC flex muscles in comfortable victory over woeful Warrington. And I
Something's
think
wrong
that's-
there, innit? Something's wrong at Warrington.
I thought Brian Carney did it better. Did you see him after the match? He did that classic, I'm not going to insult you, but I'm going to insult you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
After our game, that. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was after the Rovers game, but it was talking about the whole game, and he said, I don't want to offend Warrington, but... and then you just know he's going to go in on him.
Yeah.
And he did.
Rightly so. They are spent at cap. No question about that. They have a squad that should really be challenging on all fronts. And if they lose to you guys and we win on Thursday, they'll have finished 9 points behind us in 7th place. It's just not acceptable for a club like that.
I really don't want to derail the pod. I feel like every week we start and I don't hear you say the sponsor and Tribal. And then
I did it.
I know, and then I look at the page and then I start panicking about it and I lose train of thought.
Don't panic, mate.
Jimmy's got you.
Did you actually do it?
Yeah, did
Yeah,
it?
he did do it, yeah.
Like straight from the
You
off.
just don't... I know. Sorry.
That's fine.
But yeah, something's
I like
wrong
the
at
lack of
Warrington,
trust.
innit? Like, something's massively... I don't want to take away from all by what sounded like a great result and a great performance by all accounts, but something's wrong at Warrington.
I feel like Sam Burgess is the rugby league version of Ruben Amorim.
takes over a big club but can't deal with it.
Who's
Yeah, the Man United head
Yeah,
coach.
manager.
It don't matter how bad he's doing because he's definitely doing bad enough to get sacked. They're just, I mean, they give him another year, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I don't get it. He must be clinging on to that coaching job off the back of his playing career.
For as bad as Warrington was on Saturday, and they was awful, they didn't start off too bad. The first 5 or 10 minutes, they, bit like what you guys did to us last week, you got field position quite early, very early in fact, and I want to get onto that from our point in a little while. They got into field position quite early, pressured our line a little bit, but they just didn't. I felt quite comfortable. Whereas last week I thought Rovers going to probably come away with a couple of tries here, which he didn't to our credit. They come away with 2 points and they peppered our line a little bit. And then from that point on, there was just, it was, I felt really comfortable really early on. And that's looking at our team with 12 players out, with a lot of academy products in there and thinking we could be in for a tough afternoon here. And after about 15 minutes, I thought, no, we're gonna be all right here.
Seems daft to say it, but it just sounds like it felt like they got them 2 points and thought game was won.
It's what I quite liked about it. Obviously, not a neutral's point of view, being red and white, in direct comparison to last week, because I have rated Cartwright throughout the year. I don't think, not his son so much, but as a coach, we've always given him his dues. I think we both have from this side, and saying that we can tell he's got definitely some good coaching chops and he could go on to be something very good. We quite like that he's proven that he can change that negative attitude and get rid of some of that toxic sort of lingering toxicity that we found might be at FC. So all credit to him, but it showed that after last week's game plan, which we spoke about at length, which was very disappointing in some ways, but pleasing in others for black and whites, to actually go and see some rugby. You know, last week's game was not enjoyable to watch.
No, it wasn't.
And as poor as Warrington were, and we can't take away from that, being able to actually watch some of your young guys and some your team actually try and play some rugby and beat a team by playing rugby, despite how poor Wire was so much more enjoyable. And it's good to see Cartwright be able to flip that switch with a mismatched team.
Yeah, we had to actually win the game. We had to throw the ball about, because I thought we'd lose the forward battle. This was going into the game. It didn't end up like that. We won every aspect of everything on the pitch, really. But I thought to go out and win this game, which we had to do, we'd have to throw the ball about a little bit. We'd have to play rugby, and we did that, didn't we?
Yeah, but I don't think we were properly forced into it. I think, like you said, once we got to like that 10-15 minute mark, I feel like we actually took control of the game without having to sling the ball about.
Yeah, because we won that forward battle, which I didn't think we would win.
I mean, that was
going
a lot
into
of that. A lot of that down to Matty Laidlaw as well.
Matty Laidlaw, Liam Watts again. He's had some. I slated the signing. You all know that. But since he's come back from his injury, he's been really good. Without been nothing special, he's just been solid. Yep. Absolutely solid.
He was absolutely what, and it's so bizarre to say, but he's what you was missing last year. Not in terms of what he's delivered on the field, because he has been solid. He hasn't been amazing, but he's been very solid. But he's sort of been there for the team around him, willing to put some hard work in when he's been able to get on the field, willing to just sort of occasionally put his hand up and say, I'll take another run in, I'll stand in the defensive line and bend my back. And you didn't have that last year.
No.
And that's the positive influence that you do get on the players around you and the young players around you. So you have to give him his props for that this year.
What's impressed me more is with us losing Knight and then Herman as well, we was thinking, who's going to lead this line for us? And he's definitely taken that role on over the last 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. He's been that old wise head for a lot of young forwards around him. So,
when did Watts become a magician? Have you seen that highlight?
Sorry, what?
Have you not seen it? So Hull are attacking. There's a charge down, and then
he was
all of
getting
a sudden,
treatment.
Watts just appears out of nowhere and collects his
He
ball
was
in
getting
back
treatment
field.
15 metres back.
You don't see that on TV,
No.
so it looks. Yeah.
And he literally shoves the physio away because he sees the charge down from the kick, and then regains the ball, and then's injured again, and then gets treatment after that. So I love that. That was just like,
it was just the way he appeared out of nowhere on the screen. Like,
I'm all in for this, and I'm going to do everything I can for my team, and that was
That's the type of attitude and commitment I think that we definitely missed last year, and it's that mindset that, like Josh mentioned, a lot of that's down to Cartwright. I think, like, building that frame of mind and that camaraderie between players where, yeah, I'm here, but if I don't win that ball, we're under the pump, so I'm going to do it while I can do it, and then I'll get off.
The game was done at that point as well. The game,
Yeah.
He didn't need to do that. No one would have said, "Oh, I can't believe Watson didn't bust a gut for that."
Jimmy probably would have.
He probably.
I wouldn't. I didn't even. I saw him. What I was paying attention to at the time was probably not the game.
Was the F1
It
on?
was a bit like it was a bit like what you'd have seen on TV, where he just appeared, and I was just
literally
like, "Where did he
appeared out
come
of
from?
nowhere, yeah.
Like, what's going on there?" And he was getting treatment in backfield. I was like, "Oh, fair enough."
But
Should
yeah.
stop reading that advert on the boards.
You mentioned about Cartwright Senior there, and it does have to come from the top down. But then, obviously, it's got to work like a sort of hierarchy. Like, you have to have players like a Watts, a Cust, a Caesar that are going to do those sort of things.
Comes from it has to come from Carty down, but what I'm led to believe and what I'm seeing written up as well during the course of the season, a lot of it's coming from Andy Last as well. There's a reason.
No surprise there.
No, there's a reason Hull brought Last back, and I think it was because Cartwright wanted someone with an affiliation with a club, experience, a fan, so to speak, and I think that was one of the main reasons Andy Last was brought back in, and that's showing that our fight that we've got this year.
I think it's kind of told that in reality Lasty should have never have gone. I don't think I'm not necessarily saying he should have stayed on as head coach, but he should have stayed with the club. A bit like what's his face did last year. He stayed with the club as an assistant this year. But I want to just not necessarily correct, but give my perspective on it. I don't think it just comes from Cartwright.
No, but it's got to start there. That's what I'm saying.
No, I
And
think
then
it
drips down.
starts. I think it starts above Cartwright. I definitely do think it starts above Cartwright. I can't speak for Thurkill. I've not met the guy, but I have met Richie, and when he talks, he is so passionate about what he's doing at this club. Yeah, he never had an affiliation with the club as a kid growing up. Obviously, he was a Salford boy, and then as a player, he never played for the club. But when you listen to him talk about what he's doing now, he's definitely got the passion there to lead. And I don't think anyone really needs to talk to Gareth Ellis to understand where his passion is. And he sits now as director of rugby as well, so he now sits above Cartwright. I don't necessarily think it starts with Cartwright. I think he's definitely being fed from above
fair.
as well.
It looks like we have got a good chain coming from top down now, and that's something we've not had for a long time at the club. And it's
Not trying to
good.
take away from what Cartwright's done.
Oh,
by the way.
No,
definitely
Not in
not.
any way. I'm just saying it.
We don't need to get into the game too much. We've turned up. We played well. What we would need to talk about is what I touched on earlier. 11 academy graduates in that squad on Saturday. And I know we have a laugh and joke about, you ain't got an academy, blah, 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 and why ain't you got a team full of academy players? Why are you signing...
We've got an academy. It's just
No, why
not
you-
very good at the moment.
Why are you signing all these old heads? But to see 11 academy graduates on that pitch, they was all on at one point at the same time as well.
Yeah, all 11 of them.
It's great to see. Really is great to see. And I'm not daft enough to say next year we're going to have them all playing at once and they're going to come through. That's not going to happen. It happened this week because we was decimated with injuries and suspensions. But yeah, it was really pleasing. It made that win feel a little
was
bit
nice.
more
Of course,
sweeter as well.
Look, we have the banter back and forth,
Yeah,
and
of course
I
we
still
do.
maintain the point that you're not going to see that many of them next year
No.
if you're going to start making that next step, especially with the intent you've shown with the players you're signing. But to be able to do it now and to be able to still win the game, and this, like, from a personal point of view, I loved seeing Moy back. I know he's old man, so it's a little bit more of a nice one for me,
He
and
had a
that's
really
why it's
good
been
crack on Saturday
a
as
bit
well.
more bittersweet for me when I kept bringing it up, saying why you're not playing him, where's his game time going? Because his dad, like the guy, like the family. But it's great to see that going through. And yes, them 11 won't play for you next year unless something goes really wrong. They might still all be at the club.
They'll play
And
dribs and jab, but not all together
They'll-
like that.
Hopefully they buy into your future plan and your ethos, and then they might come in. Hopefully they all make it at Super League level for the future, because that's what we want for young stars. And you can't really say anything negative about that. So I think you're right to feel really proud of that as a club.
Oh, definitely.
I think, to be honest, I wouldn't have wanted at any point in this season to say that we had 11 on, because having 11 on means that we've got 11, decent amount of players out
Nearly a
injured or
first
banned.
team out.
So yeah, that's the only way that they made it in. So I don't want them all playing, but it was really nice to see it. And just touching on what Josh just said then about next season, I don't know where all of those 11 are going to be next season. They're definitely not going to be playing first team for us. A couple of them might be out on loan. You've got to look at Moy and think, where's he going to be next season? Is he going to stay and go out on loan? Is he going to go to one of these championship teams in this massive, big 70-team league or whatever it's going to be? And because you've got to look at that and think, right, well, we've got Price. You've got Ardacre who can fill in there. We've now got Lloyd Kemp, who's shown that he's quite adept at playing the fullback role at Super League level. Maybe not for a sustained period, but he can do it. Where does Moy now fit in?
He did
And
himself
it's-
no harm though on Saturday.
No, he didn't do himself
He
no
had a
harm
really
at
good
all.
game. He linked in better than I've ever seen him link in to the line.
And
He's
for all
still-
we know, Moy might be the one that stays, and Kemp might get shifted out. Who knows? But there's definitely too many fullbacks young
the club,
fullbacks,
yeah.
especially to carry on.
He did really well on Saturday though. One player we have to mention, and James touched on him earlier, was Laidlaw.
Yeah,
he
it
was
class.
absolutely outstanding. It's the best game I've ever seen him play for FC. He's had a couple of good stints over the course of the season, but he put an all-round package together on Saturday. He was brilliant going forward, great in defence. Probably a longer shift than he thought he was going to get with SA getting the head knock early on in the game. Harvey Barron got the club man of the match, but for me, Mike Laidlaw was definitely...
I was surprised.
Laidlaw's one of these players that, I mean, people watching around other rugby league fans are probably not going to know too much about him, and probably haven't seen too many performances that stand out. So he'll be one to watch if he can sustain that level of performance in the future and become a mainstay in your starting 17.
He's one of these that you want to drip in, though.
Yeah.
With the forward pack that we're going to have next year, I hope he doesn't get pushed to the back, but I hope he doesn't have to play loads and loads of minutes. Keep dripping him in if we can, when we can, so he gets the learning curve that he needs.
And sad to say on that, sorry, because it was twinned with that point, we may have now seen Sam Essay's final game for the club, given the head knocks. That's a shame. In the circumstances, for Laidlaw to play more minutes has come at a bit of a negative impact when it comes to Essay. It might not be
pretty nasty.
It might not be his last game. I'm not saying you're definitely not in the six, but you know, it's a potential.
Definitely.
It was one of them ones, like when it happened, I was like, oh, for God's sake, he's knocked the bloody ball on there. It was in real good position, and then you watch it back and you're like, ooh.
Well, soon he knocked it on. The referee did the play on sign, and then you sort of following play about your periphery. You just see him stumbling to get up, and you're thinking...
It reminded me of Sid Domick. Stood up and wobbled. And you thought, he's going to run back in the line now, like, crack on.
No, Doctor was straight on.
Did you see Burgess's comments on it?
No.
Made the usual, I haven't seen it, I haven't watched it back, opening line that all the coaches make. And then said, look, at the end of the day, somebody's failed a HIA, or they've had to go off. There's obviously something in it. Couldn't see how bad the incident was. All I'm saying is we're pretty decimated as a club, and we're hoping that the disciplinary is very kind to us.
Was that the Fitzgibbon incident? Is that why he's not playing?
Do we know what the result of that was?
Fitzgibbon got a one-match ban.
Oh, right,
yeah, it's the same incident, isn't it? It's Fitzgibbon.
That's
that hit
it.
him.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, I know. I didn't click what you're saying. Yeah, so I just thought it was a strange comment to make. It's sort of appealing already. You know that we're decimated. Lots of teams have had injuries. Lots of teams have had issues along the way. You can't really say that, but it just kind of felt like a bit of a distraction.
Yeah, it was
tactic
proper
from Sam Burgess for me.
Big time. Just before we get onto the signings, because we've made a lot of them over the last week, I want to give a mention to Brad Fash, because that guy, I've slated him. I think all of us have slated him over the course of last season and a half since we've been doing this.
No, we never have.
No, of course not.
Which one's he again?
He's the one you don't like.
But since he's come back from injury,
There's 17 of them on a match day.
he's been a bit like Liam Watts. I didn't think he would step up like he has stepped up, and he's had to step up these last few weeks. He had a solid, if not anything startling, in the derby, but this week he really put a stint in, didn't it? Really put a stint in, didn't he? And he pushed Laidlaw for man of the match for me.
I won't go that far. I thought
I
Laidlaw
would.
was a proper standout. But, yeah, I'm not saying he didn't play well. He definitely played well.
Before I potentially steal some thunder then, if you're moving on from the game,
Yeah.
you haven't got a little note about Lewis Martin there, if I...
Take it.
So, Lewis Martin is now the first Hull FC player in the Super League era to score against every club in a single season.
I didn't know that stat.
I didn't know that. I know he posted it to say that he had every single team we'd played. I know he posted it on his Instagram story, but I didn't realise he was the first one ever.
So
Why not?
nah.
Dean didn't do social
Hell of a
media.
stat that though, isn't it?
That's
That
a
is
cracking
impressive.
stat, yeah.
Really
I don't
impressive.
know how far off he is of the record now. He's only a couple of tries, so hopefully he can bag himself a few more on Thursday.
Lanham's record is for Super League area.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he's not going to get...
I don't know for our record
proper
anyway.
record, is
But right, jumping on to some signings, we Briscoe an extra year. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Yep. As long as he's used as a backup for
In
the
the right
winger
way.
to help the wingers come through, which I think he's done really well.
There was talk, I can't remember the kid's name, but apparently we've got another young winger coming through. I can't remember the kid's name. I feel real bad. I'm really sorry if he's watching. But I think that's one of the main reasons why, because he's done a lot of work with Barron and Martin. If he can now stick around and help another young winger come through.
He's signed for
Becomes a
26,
conveyor belt,
but
doesn't
the club hold an option for 2027 as well. So we'll see about that. This one surprised me a little bit. Aidan Caesar getting an extra year after 2026. I'm not disappointed in it.
I think there's some stuff happening there. I have my theories. So I was away all last week, wasn't I?
Yeah.
So I'm sat there in my hotel room. Fucking, my mind's racing. I'm just thinking, you know, as you do when you're away. And I'm like, I figured it out. I think they've done some jiggery pokery with the salary to create space for next season, so that there's space for the signings we've made for next season. I might be completely wrong, but my ADHD brain's thinking there's got to be a reason why we've extended this guy's contract. And I genuinely think it might be that we've lowered his salary for next season and split it over two, if you know what I mean, so that we can still release him at the end of next season and pay him off for the season
I just think the club are...
Do you know what I mean? It's just something like that. I don't quite know exactly what it is, but
my
I think
man
it's
wasn't
something
processing like that. Man was... We would probably... Earlier on this season, we was probably looking at signing another 7 for 2027. But now, with the likes of Kemp coming through, and then us signing Arthur as a 6, I think they want to keep Caesar on for another year to give Kemp that bit more development.
Maybe it is. Most of the stuff that I think about when I'm given time and space is absolute bollocks, so I'm probably wrong.
Most of that comes out your mouth is about that as well.
Yeah. And that's why I'm not leaving. I feel like people should be punished.
Jordan Lane's exit confirmed. Cast 4 years. We all knew that earlier on in the season.
Yeah, but did the length of it surprise you? 4 years?
No. Because he would have been, after 2 years, I think he was due a testimonial at all, so it needed to be a big one to get him to get him away from all. Connor Bailey, again, we knew this earlier on in the season. He signed from York, 24-year-old. 2-year deal with a club holding the option for an extra year. So hopefully he'll go well.
To see how
I'm excited to see him come through. And then this one really, really surprised me. Liggy South, 1 year extension.
It didn't surprise me that much because there was Cartwright had done some interviews a couple of weeks ago where it was kind of mentioned, and as soon as it was mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, yeah, that kind of confirms to me that Rapsy's going to retire and Sal's going to get another year. So when it got confirmed, I wasn't surprised. But when you think about how, not desperately, but how much we do need a centre over another prop, I'm surprised we've used the quarter on a
That's
prop.
the thing for me. If he hadn't been a quarter spot, I wouldn't have been
as
bothered. But then there's news coming out today that we're in for, is it Ollie Wilson from Huddersfield? So if we do get him, then it makes the Sal signing a little bit more baffling to me. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, that pretty much wraps up the whole section.
Just also
For me.
today, Batchelor and Bell got confirmed by Saints as leaving, so I imagine by the
We'll
time
announce
this
them
comes
soon.
out, we'll have probably announced them too as well. So, but yeah, that's it. Yeah. Time for the sponsor.
This week's episode is sponsored by Comscaff.
Commercial Scaffolding, or Comscaff, are a Hull-based company formed over 30 years ago.
They offer a safe and professional scaffolding service nationwide.
For services and enquiries, you can go to comscaff.co.uk or call 01482 782 181.
Right,
Welcome back.
your time to shine now.
Shan?
Yeah, go on.
No, that's later.
No, go on. Tell us what you did in West Yorkshire to ruin our playoff chances.
Put an academy team out. Before we get into the game, I just want to give a shout out to, there was a busload of Whitehaven fans, a coach load of Whitehaven fans. Yes, I see. I made that face too. But when Wakefield were relegated and they were in the Championship last season, they took 1,500 fans to Whitehaven.
Did they do a bucket collection as well?
Yeah,
I
put a
think,
lot of
didn't
money
they?
into the club. So as a thank you, the Whitehaven, I'm not sure if they're the supporters club. I was a bit too many share, but deep. But they put a coach load on to come down and support them, and I was actually stood with them for the majority of the game with the Wakefield fans as well. So I just wanted to give them a shout out because I think it just shows the community of rugby league, doesn't it? Working class town to working class town, and it.
Can I pick a negative out of it?
Oh, always go on.
The one game that they didn't need to do it at was that game, because that game was going to be sold out anyway. Like, I think, are they at home next week against Salford?
No, they're away.
Oh, I was going to say, because that game could probably do with a few extra fans standing.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
away.
but Saturday afternoon it's a lot easier to travel down from Cumbria.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it
Yeah.
is a credit, but I'm just thinking, how did they get tickets?
Well, same as me. I bought mine from Wakefield.
Did you?
Yeah. There was no child tickets left for Mason, so I went on the Wakefield website and bought them in there. And
Fair. I just wanted to put a Debbie Downer on it.
yeah, of course you did, because it's you. But yeah, that's Rebecca and Simon Naylor. And I believe their Whitehaven CEO was there as well. He'd actually travelled down on the bus to watch the game. So I just wanted to give them guys a shout out. So yeah, that's that. On to the game then. Very uncharacteristic Rovers performance from what we've seen over the past 18 months. We know we've got it in our locker because we've shown it a couple of times this season. Leeds away, Lee away. But there was missed tackles. I think at one point Wakefield had 70% of the possession on the stats, and they'd missed 2 tackles and we'd missed 20 something by this point, and that was midway through the first half. That shows how poor that our first half were.
At 25 minutes, it was we'd missed 15, they'd missed 2,
There you
and
go.
it just
So it
got
was
worse
just
from
after
there.
that then. Yeah.
And it wasn't the missed tackles that we spoke about last week in the way that
These
we
were
do
missed
it.
tackles.
They were genuine
Yeah.
missed tackles.
Do you know what summed up for me? And I don't know if you're going to get onto this point, but you are a very effort-based team. We know what you can do with the ball. We know what you can do in defence. But you're a very effort-based team. You every player that goes on the pitch for you puts in a shift. And it was Lino's try what summed up your afternoon for me, where Jez Litton, who was probably your biggest grafter, didn't work from dummy half. And if he'd have worked from dummy half, he may have stopped Mason Lino getting through that gap. It was a great run from Lino. There's no taking away from him. But that summed up your afternoon for me.
There was another one as well where Minchella didn't work from dummy half. I can't remember which try it was.
But Lino, he did. Minchella was in that
Oh, it
play
might
as
have
well.
been that, and then
he
Jared
did make
didn't
a
push
move.
up as well, so
Yeah.
there was a gap, and Lino just stepped off his left foot and went. But they were blaming Jared on commentary when I watched it back today, and for me that's not Jared's fault. Yes, he's been a little bit lazy, not pushing up as probably 1 or 2 further yards. But for me, that's your dummy half coming back in that black hole behind the ruck.
Yeah,
That's your not dummy half, square marker's job to be in there to make that tackle, to fill that gap.
yeah. But
So-
you've just said laziness there. You don't associate
No,
Rovers
exactly.
2025
Again, uncharacteristic, like I've
with
just said.
laziness.
Yeah.
I think oftentimes there's never only one player to blame for a try being conceded.
No.
You know, even when a player gets beat on the outside edge, it's because his teammates haven't pushed, they haven't helped him. There's been a miss further down. You know, these examples that there'll be examples that I've brought up this year about you guys, you know, trying to maybe have a bit of a niggle about Kudrow running over Price. That isn't all entirely Price's fault when we go back to that. And at the time you guys said that, you know, it's a big lad running at you. The breakdown was before that,
Yeah.
when he's already gone
A
through
fullback should never have to make a tackle.
4 or 5 people are to blame. And that, for me, I agree with that. Jared, slow, wasn't in the right space, but he wasn't solely to blame.
No,
for that
definitely
try.
not. I just wanted to point it out because on the commentary they were
Yeah,
the
they
ones
did
who
bag him,
said
didn't
it.
they?
So, and I thought it was a bit unfair, especially how forwards have been rolled in that first half massively by what I would say would be a smaller pack, minus maybe Fatilli, who came on and just absolutely steamrolled us down the middle. But there was errors, there was misplaced passes, there was poor defensive reads, especially on our left edge. And I don't know if that's because Gildart had just come back in, first time since Easter. Not blaming Gildart, but there's going to be a bit of rustiness there. And it seemed to be on our left where they were making a lot of their breaks.
I think it would be fair, and I'd like to think that Ollie had admit himself there was definite signs of rust.
Yeah, I'm not bagging on him by
we're
any
not.
means.
And that's clear. And I also think that Broadbent almost looks like he's ready for a break himself. That moving around for so much, and I think it was a bit of a weak link for us. In my opinion, one of the hardest things to do, because you want to make sure Wakefield get all the credit they deserve. They played really well. Lino's one of them players that's a perfect example of rocks and diamonds. And he was diamond on Saturday. He really
He was better than
At
diamond.
Craven Park a couple of months ago, he was rocked big time.
To give him what I like to think is a really big compliment, and people might find it quite an arrogant statement to make, but what they did to us in the first half was they did what we was doing to teams in our real big purple patch of this season. They was dominant in all areas. It felt like the opposition team, us, couldn't really get a foothold. It made us look silly at times, big gaps in defence, make mistakes. But the kicking was on point as well. So the kicking from Lino mainly was getting us pinned in corners, and then the effort and defence from the Wakefield pack and centres and wingers as well, of course, and the halves, but mainly their pack was dominating us. And if you swap the shirts round and go back probably pre-Challenge Cup final, that'd be what we was doing to teams when it looked like we was almost unbeatable. It was like what we did to Saints at Saints away. And I mean, take this the right way to people that are listening or watching. That's massive credit to them, because what they did, they out-rovered Rovers, if that makes sense. It was so impressive the first half, and I don't think I'm as negative as a lot of fans I've seen online about the first half performance. There are some really negative comments.
The Red Army
some
Facebook
awful
group.
comments. We was very poor, and I'm not going to change that.
I love a good Facebook.
Oh, mate, honestly, you can tell some of them fans have been going fairly recently, maybe just a little bit further back when we came back into Super League. They're not the fans that went to the Whitehaven, where we lost 51-0. They're not the ones that were travelling to London Scholars in the second round of the Challenge Cup. You know, I've been to all them places, and you see things differently, don't you?
We've been there, mate. Do you know our favourite one was? We just think, what's going on? Come on, lads. Like, we have been at the top of the league, right, for 21 weeks.
Since round 5, yeah.
Let's not forget, we've won a Challenge Cup twice, right? We've had this bad half, and it was only a bad half. It wasn't great in the second half, but it was just a really bad opening half. And you've got a person, don't you? Hopefully you listen or watch and you can have a go at me, or in person or online. But do we think we need to recall Rowan Milnes for Thursday? Do you know when you're reading these comments and you're thinking,
Well, he's playing well for Salford, you know.
He is, but I'm like,
That was a joke, by the way.
Yeah.
what? You know, he's playing well for him. He is, that's true. But I'm like, who do you actually support to be putting this comment in a Rovers supporters group? Who are you trying to wind up because it's working?
Right, can I ask a question then? To both of you, really?
No, carry on.
Yeah, no. And I was going to say this to the end of your section, but is there any concerns for you going forward? Because I'm not after it. I'm not having a dig or anything like that. Far from it. I'm asking a genuine question. You got beat by Leeds, got beat by Lee. You got past a Saints team that have been hammered by two of your competitors in the last 2 weeks. You got past Hull, and then you've been well beat against Wakefield. You've now got Wire, who are goddamn awful, and you will beat on Thursday. There's no doubt about it.
That.
But if you don't put a performance in, you will win. But if you don't put that statement, is that the right word?
That's exactly the word, statement, performance.
Going into a week off with them results and performances lingering, which haven't been great, they've been okay. Is that a concern to you going into that semi-final playoff, or is it just a clean slate? And
yeah, for me, it's a worry. Like, you look at Leeds a few seasons ago, winning it from 5th, struggled for 60% of the season, hit a bit of form in the business end, went all the way to Old Trafford from 5th and won it. You know, what you finish the league as, you take into the playoffs. So for me, we need to see a big performance next week. We need to see what you just said, Dean, there, a statement. And the worrying thing was, a lot of people were really, really confident going into the Wakefield game. I was a little bit fearful because that sort of half, because it wasn't a full game of bad, that's been coming for a while. All it took was the right game plan, the right execution, and then there we are.
I'll go on a tangent to try and answer, because there's a million thoughts in my head, but the honest answer is yes. I don't think we've put together the performance we'd like to have seen since pre-Challenge Cup. We've said that. I sat here last week and said I could see us getting beat by Wakefield. I said that in the predictions.
And I was surprised when you said that.
This league this year has been absolutely fascinating, particularly now we're getting towards the business end in what teams have done. You're talking about a Wakefield side who I was absolutely singing the praise at the start of the season. We talk about who's beat who and who's doing what in the top 6 right now. Wakefield have gone out there. They've beaten Leeds twice. They've beaten Wigan at Wigan, and they've beaten Lee. And then we compare them, as you've just done, to a Saints team that hasn't beat what they're now calling the top 3 out the top 4, Rovers, Wigan and Leeds. And Lee, not Leeds. They haven't beat them in 2 seasons. So you see these different levels of game plans and where teams are at. And Wakefield had our number, well beat us, tired. Do we worry about it? Of course we worry. We have to win on Thursday night, really, because we want that League Leaders Shield. What does it mean going into the playoffs? Are we at our best? No. Do we think we can pick it up? Yeah, of course we can. We've proven that throughout the year and last year. Is there going to be a bit of disappointment if we don't go to Old Trafford? Yes. Do I think we've got a good chance? I think we've got a chance. I don't think we've got a good chance. I think there's some good teams in the top 6. And I think any of them can beat any of the other teams on the day, apart from maybe Saints, for me right now. We've won a Challenge Cup. We've got 1 game to win the League Leaders. I would have snapped your hand off at the start of a season for any one of them. And that's why you have to keep remembering that. Yeah. And we're going to get to the end of the year. We should lift that cup on Thursday night. Will it be disappointing to drop afterwards? Yeah. There's so much focus on us right now because we was the informed team. We've been at the top of the league for so long. There'll almost be a bit of ridicule if we don't even make it to the grand final, let alone don't win it. You only get that type of attention when you're at the top. And that's because we are at the top and we was last year and we are this year. You can't experience sunshine if you don't sit in the rain. So we will see.
You can tell you've been reading Homer.
So I'm looking back at 2016, 2017 for us. And at the time, I had a similar mindset, whereas I was a little disappointed we didn't get to the grand final because we'd won the cup. And I was like, yeah, we've won the cup. It's fine, don't matter. I now see, especially 2017, as a hugely missed opportunity for us because we was 5 minutes from beating Leeds, a game that we should have won at Headingley.
Is that when Sneed missed them kicks?
I can't remember.
He was on about the other week.
And then we'd have played Cass in the grand final, and we would have beat Cass. I have no doubts about it. We had Cass's number that year. We were the only team to beat Cass 3 times that season in that really good season that they had, and they'd lost Hardacre in the build-up to the grand final. But I come away from Leeds thinking, a bit disappointed, but we won the cup 2 months ago. I'm all right. I regret thinking that, and I didn't think I would at the time, but I really do because it's a massive missed opportunity. And because I've had that experience, I didn't... Yeah.
The only thing I'll say on that, Dean, I don't really remember your guys' level of performance back then. I know we said the other week in a bit of a comparison because we had a great question around it that you lost a lot more games than we did that year, and you was up there and you lost and you didn't make it to grand final. I can't say if you was like the dominating team and then you should have won it, and you've just said you would have beat Cass fan, but we're not that dominating team right now, and we haven't.
It wasn't dominating,
and we haven't been just 6 weeks.
I feel we had.
I can't say
we could have.
I can't say it'd be fair to say it'd be a missed opportunity because last year, if Wigan didn't win it and we got the number, that would have been a missed opportunity because Wigan were far and away the best team in the competition for pretty much the entire season last year. That hasn't been the case this year. We have been top of the league for most of the year, but we have not been far and away the best team for the most of the year. We've been it for maybe 70%, and I think it is different. And I think it's that kind of negative focus that we're going to get if we don't make it or we don't win the grand final that we don't care about. And I want to throw in a point here to sort of move us back onto the game. And as I've just given Cartwright some credit in your section, absolute big up to Willie Peters. You know how much we love him, how much we rate him. Post-match comments. Let's talk about Warrington next week. And Willie's comments. We don't deserve to win the League Leaders Shield if we play like that. That is what I want from our coach. Honest, raw assessment that calls the players out. He knows how to get a performance out of us. And what we've proven this year, that we didn't quite get to prove last year, is that we're able to get over those big mental hurdles. I've said this time and time again, I'll say it again right now. We finally managed to win a trophy after all them years. We managed to beat Wigan away when it really was 2 of the top teams going against each other. So now we trust in Peters like we've trusted him last year, like we trust him in this year to get the job done. Will he get a response out of our boys? He has not let me down yet in these 2 seasons, and I fully expect that he won't, which means almost, being a bit of a hypocrite to me on comment, we have to expect to get a response for the playoffs.
I think you'll get a response, but I don't think if you don't get to the grand final or don't win a grand final as well, that isn't him letting you down. Definitely not. Like,
never.
Not a chance.
No. Definitely not.
with the way that your team have shown that they're capable of playing this season especially. Last season, you played really well, but this season you managed to click it up a gear. Definitely earlier on in the season. I agree with Dean. I think you will eventually look at this as a massive missed opportunity because Rovers, on their day, 2025, by far the best team in the league, and I think if you did manage to get to the grand final and play to your best, there's no doubt you'll win it in my mind. If you manage to cock this up, leading into the playoffs and not get to the grand final and not give yourself that opportunity to step up on the day, like you did at Wembley eventually in like the last 2 minutes, I think you will rue it for a while.
I didn't rue it for until about 3 years after it.
We won't know this for years then, because I won't know until it happens in October. But I'm telling you right now, what you're saying is great insight and great from your personal experience. You're not going to take away what's happened this year for me as a Rovers fan for
I'm
Wembley.
not saying
I'm not taking anything away from you.
So, honestly, this was the point. Couldn't give a shit what happens after this, right? Because we won't know. And I'll come back and if we still
same as what we said.
If we still do this in 5 years, I'll say, do you know what? You was right or you was wrong, lads, or whatever. But right now, and it's been like this the entire year, and I went to great wedding earlier, well, only a few weeks ago, with the Langdale clan, and the speech that was about, this should be the best day of my life, but Rovers won at Wembley. Them type of memories that we've got this year are just fantastic. And so it's so hard for us to give you that input now and almost not agree or disagree with you, but say, I see what you're saying, because I understand your point, but we won't know. And also, it won't take away from what we've done.
No, it never took away from what we
remember
did.
As well, for you guys, you won the Challenge Cup the year before. So you're now saying the year after when you won it the second time, and you was that better team that felt like you was one of the better teams in the comp, you felt like it was a missed opportunity. You didn't feel like that in 2016 when you won the cup.
No.
And I'm not saying what I said. Just want to clear that up. I'm not saying what I said to try and take away from what you've done this year, because especially earlier on in the season in the Super League, the way that you lot played and the way that just as a unit just tore teams apart, absolutely fantastic. Not to watch from my perspective, but from your perspective, 100% fantastic. To win the cup in the fashion that you won the cup, with that sort of last gasp.
So Rovers were.
That's why we lost on Saturday. It's just the Rovers way.
Honestly,
we love the drama.
You'll never take away from it. You'll never take those memories away from you guys. You'll look back in 30... If you haven't won anything again for another 30, 40 years, you guys will still look back on 2025 at Wembley. It's the same with us. Like, we've got more time to look back on. It's still fantastic memories, regardless of what happened for the rest of the season. You'll never forget it.
Yeah. So yeah, round up then. A couple of eyes to finish off. This is why it was brought back up from being a disappointing sporting weekend for myself.
I just want an answer to a question.
Oh God, here we go.
Did you do it on purpose so we didn't get in the playoffs?
Yes, we put an academy side out, yeah.
100%. That young lad, that Ollie Gildart, is one for the future, right? But
it's got bagged a meat pie as well, didn't he?
Did, yeah.
There was genuinely people sat around us at the KC saying they've done this on purpose. They've done this on purpose.
Wakefield just came out, played us off the park in that first 40 minutes, left us with too much to do. Like, I'm taking nothing away from Wakefield.
And I don't believe any player goes onto a rugby pitch.
No, definitely not.
And
not
it would make no sense, because you guys need to go into the playoffs on
with form, and we'd like to get the league leaders wrapped up.
If we was going to do it on purpose, we would have gone out to absolutely annihilate them, and we would rather you was in the six, because I would rather have you in
with
a
all
playoff
our
game.
Injuries and bans.
Well, no, just for what? No, just for what, obviously, yeah, but just for what?
There he goes.
No, for what the season's shown. We're talking about statistics and we're talking about form. We've had your number all year. Doesn't matter what you've brought, doesn't matter what game plan you've brought, because you've brought different game plans like you did last week. We've managed to beat you. Would we rather see you limp into the playoffs or potentially see you down the line, or a Wakefield team that we've been beaten by now, but obviously until then we've had one thrashing of them and one really close game at the start of the season, which, back then I was trying to say about, look, they're a team to watch these, watch out for them. We would rather have you.
Yeah,
so
statistically,
you say limped into the playoffs. Wakefield have sort of limped into the playoffs themselves. We've been beat by yourselves, Saints, Leeds. that's not. They've been beat by Cass in the last couple of weeks, but overall, if they get into the playoffs, they have deserved to get in the playoffs.
How good that we're talking about a team that was in the championship and a team that was
playing like they should have been in the championship.
That close to relegation to the championship. We're now talking about them as playoff contenders. That's only good for the game. If you can get teams with that level of growth, all right, yeah, it's only short term at the moment, but if you can get teams with that level of growth, the standard of our competition is just going to skyrocket.
I hope you're right.
It's going to be great to watch.
That's what we want, don't we?
Yeah. But credit to it from our point of view as well. Credit to Wakefield. They've been really good this year.
I love everything that they're doing there.
Yeah.
There's like a little mini Craven Street outside. There was a guy doing Freddie Mercury outside of where the flats are, that side.
When we need to get onto this last bit and wrap up, I know, but when you talk about the games that was there in front of them, you know what we're at now to get into playoff rugby. We know what's at stake. They had to turn up. They had to win.
After last week,
just
with
like
Cass
you,
as well.
Just like you had to turn up and win, right? Why did they do it? Like, how can you take that away from them? They knew what it meant to them. They knew what they did. It's so respectful to see it. It's so impressive to see it and so much respect to them for doing it. You've got to turn around and say how good they were. So good.
They were. And there's certainly a feel-good factor at the club, and I think that comes down to the chairman, Matt.
They're likeable as well, aren't
they?
They
Mason
are a
said to
likeable
me
side.
on the way to Wakefield on Saturday, he turned around to me and said, if Rovers didn't exist, who would you support? I said, knowing what I know now, probably Wakefield or Cass. But after the weekend, I'm now Wakefield.
No, not Cass. They was insufferable in 2017.
Yeah.
I went right off them.
But yeah, so
that is a good question. That. Why didn't Mason send that into this?
Because he doesn't listen. He doesn't like it when he has to sit here.
Fair.
That's why he puts his headphones on and sits on his iPad playing Roblox or whatever the bloody hell kids play these days.
Go on then, wrap it up.
So yeah, a couple of eyes to wrap it up. The wheelchair team played Wakefield again, final game of the season, and to go along with the 80-0 win from last time, they actually won by a bigger score. They won 102-0 this time. I think the Wakefield side is a development side, and that Matt Felmingham, who's on Twitter, he played for the Rovers wheelchair side. He got a bit of a shout out on the socials. And finally, just from us, the under-14s girls, they wrapped up a superb season. I don't know if they went unbeaten in the league. Then they beat...
Keep going, Craig.
Yeah, and then they beat Dewsbury Moor 10-0 in the grand final at Featherstone's ground at the weekend. So they won the under-14s girls rugby. So massive shout out to them and well done. And future's looking good there.
There's a little request on this. I was struggling to find more details on this when I was texting Craig, because we'd seen they'd won the league leaders and they won the championship, if you like, for the under-14s. Trying to find some of the information on some of our clubs can be difficult at the time, some of our academy sides and our women's and girls sides. So if people that listen or watch can point me in a better direction, if there's a particular Twitter feed or a Facebook group, because I had to scroll back quite a bit through Red Army to find this, and I knew I'd seen it. So give us a shout, let us know I can get more information, because we want to know what's going on around the club in a bigger way.
Yeah, or even better than that, if you are affiliated in any way with either of the clubs, get the clubs on it. Like, I want to see more of the women's stuff. I want to see more of the developmental stuff, the kids stuff, not just the under-14s girls, but like the scholarship, the men's scholarship or the boys scholarship, whatever you want to call it. It needs to be better. And if you want a club to follow in terms of an example, York, you go on York's website, it's everything. It's not just York Knights, it's York Knights, York Valkyrie, all on one website. It's real easy to see everything.
I think what Rovers have done is we've split ours. So you've got the main socials who post like for the women's, and then the main, obviously the men's, and then the Academy of Reserves or whatever. And then we've got the Hull KR Foundation, who has its separate
FC have got
Twitter
one
page
as well, Hull FC Foundation.
But they posted that there was a game for the wheelchair side, but then there was no other details about it. There was no result or anything like that. It was only because I'd seen somebody else post
when
it.
I've been, because I asked the wife to check on a Facebook page just for details of like reserve results and things like that, just so I've got information for this. And they've posted going into the week this week's fixtures for all our teams, and then there's been nothing.
Yeah, it's a problem around, and it was only my point because I want to give a final shout out so we can move on from Rovers. We obviously feel the same across both clubs. I'm sure it's the same at other ones. We'll do some more digging ourselves, but please, people, help us out. Give us a shout. Let us know where we can find stuff.
Absolutely.
My shout out of the week this week is going to Scott Taylor. Obviously, he played for both of us, but did get to see him yesterday when I was playing one of the worst rounds of golf I've played in a very long time. Culmination of too many nights on the pop. But it was just nice to see him just sort of out and enjoying himself with his old man, I believe. And yes, he did beat me in yesterday's competition. So I was feeling a bit bitter about that. But it's always nice to see some of the ex-players, and especially someone that's still involved in the sport. So
Doing well.
Doing well.
Did you know he was? Does he watch?
Yeah, he went, oh, you're him off bragging rights, aren't you?
I had to sign a couple of autographs. What can I say, Jimmy?
God, here we go. Right.
You always have to try and bring a downer on
No,
it.
no,
don't
I'm
you?
just genuinely. I wanted to know, like, because I don't know.
Yes,
He
I was
actually
wearing my
called
bragging
himself a
rights
Debbie
jumper.
Downer early, didn't he?
Yeah. Come on then, let's move on.
On to Tribal then. So, as you are probably aware, both teams are playing on Thursday night.
That's a
Ludicrous
farce.
planning from the RFL as per usual. So, Tribal this week. Hull KR are on the small screens with live commentary upstairs. This is Thursday night. Hull FC on the big screen with live commentary out back in the gazebo area. Is that what we...
The marquee.
Marquee, yeah, tent. No commentary will be played downstairs due to Tribal's weekly quiz night, which seems just as ridiculous as the RFL's decision to put them on the same night, but yeah. Also remember, don't forget to bring your passes for
Discount.
15% off all your food and drink order. Is it if it's on the same?
It's been on the screen for hopefully about 3 minutes already, so...
I have not seen it on the screen.
But
I'm on the wrong
Susan's
side of
pressing the
it.
button, so it probably
Probably
hasn't.
wrong.
Okay,
So yeah,
yeah.
don't forget your passes. 15% off food
15%
and drink
off.
bill.
Yeah, it's got to have food and drink.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
done.
Does not count if it's a bag of quavers and a drink.
Yeah, it has to be food from the kitchen.
What the chef has to cook.
Apparently they don't keep quavers in the kitchen. I don't know.
Might have a pantry.
I don't know. This place is really nice in allowing us to record here every week, and we just bag on them every opportunity, don't we?
The food's nice.
What was that? Take the piss? Yeah, well, you know.
Only out of you.
Yeah, we do have to be supervised now, don't we, in case we're naughty.
Shut up. Josh,
Um,
news.
Yeah, let's roll into some news then. A few items to discuss today, gentlemen. First one, John Bennison to leave St Helens. I think wherever you've noticed, a young lad that's been in and out that team for 3-4 years now. He is an academy product for them, and it just doesn't seem like he's able to get a foothold to constantly be in the starting 17. And in his own admission, he's looking for that fresh start and maybe to kick on with his career in a different way. I think he could be a really good acquisition, and I do believe, in my opinion, he's got enough to be Super League level. So I do think you'll see maybe an announcement shortly about where he's going to
that
end
run
up.
a game, doesn't he? Does need a good run of games.
He
not-
needs for himself what Graham Orr needed when he left Hull. Just won't get in that
To get out of a
consistent...
toxic atmosphere.
No, not necessarily that, but when he came to you guys, he got that consistent game time.
He went to
proved himself
Huddersfield
as
and set himself as a solid Super League player, and then he came on to you, didn't he?
Well,
But
it's not
Graham
gonna-
Orr, that's a... Out of all the players, you
well,
pulled
I
him
could have
out.
said Dean Hadley, but then, or Jez Litton.
He's not going to get a game at St Helens, though, is he, when they've got Cristiano Ronaldo on the wing? Let's be honest. Jimmy's looking blank, at least these two got it.
Oh, I got it.
Did you not see the felt incident?
No, oh, yeah.
There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
It
She's
was
back in the
probably
room.
worse than Ashworth's for me.
I'm sorry, I'm not
It
that
was
awake
horrendous.
because this is the size of coffee that I got.
And
when
it
I
was
got
only
here.
half of
Crack
it.
on,
Yeah.
We're
Josh.
getting distracted so easily. In other news,
Bagging on travel again.
one to watch for the future, and in fact, two to watch. So Sean Briscoe's son, Rovers and FC legend, one could be fair to
Was
say.
at the game on Saturday,
Yeah,
delivering the
much,
match ball.
much loved player from both clubs. His son Henry has just been signed to the Wigan Academy, which obviously a great academy to be a part of, and it's very exciting to see where he goes. Hopefully, if he's anything like his old man, definitely one to watch for the future. But this comes only a few weeks after Luke Robinson's son, Leo, has also signed for the Wigan Academy. So they are going around and picking up some of the best young talent in the game and building for what you might see in 5, 6, 7 years, or maybe less, depending on who they are. But yeah, obviously great and well done to Henry and to Leo there, and ones that hopefully we'll be talking about in years to come.
It's good to see that, like Leo going to Wigan instead of having that typical what you could see as a bit of nepotism and him just getting a spot at Huddersfield.
And
Yeah, I agree
whereas,
with
the vice versa, obviously Sean is from Wigan, so Henry's probably a Wigan lad. But for me, Wigan don't play a game that way. I don't think there is that nepotism. I think they really do focus on trying to be the best and the strongest. So they're definitely obviously worthy of an academy place in probably the best academy that we've seen in the last 5-10 years. So let's see where they go on.
Yeah,
I agree. Nice big shout out now. A couple of big shout outs that I think are really worthy this week. So the first one goes out to York for being the Championship League leaders. They've just won their 19th game in a row. Absolutely fantastic what we've seen them done this year under Mark Applegarth, and just been so fun to watch if you get round to seeing their games. It's really impressive. And we spoke about a few weeks ago, we praised that we love what we're doing on and off the field. You praised them a few minutes ago about how they work on the website and the socials for all the teams. A team that I don't think many would be too unhappy to see make it into Super League under this new grading system.
I'd be disappointed if they're not next year.
Yeah,
I'd love
I
them
agree.
to.
I agree.
They'd be my first pick out of any of the teams.
Did you have, sorry to interrupt, but John Keir, you got him written down?
No.
He coached his last game yesterday. He's now retired. He coached Batley up against York in his final stand, and is a stalwart of rugby league in it, basically. So I think
Certainly is.
Sorry to steal your thunder a little bit there,
Led
but
us to that
exactly.
cup
And,
winning.
was it Sheffield
and
Eagles?
Sheffield in,
Sheffield
was it
in
97?
Um,
No,
That's what I mean.
98,
He's been around forever, and he's done all sorts for the game. He's been involved with Wales and their rugby league setup and things like that. So massive well done on his career, and enjoy your retirement.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a man that's given so much to our game and
Yeah,
deserves
absolutely.
his send off into the sunset. Another big shout out then to ex-Rovers player, but big shout out to Chris Wellham now. Probably a bit of a fan favourite for a lot of Rovers fans over the years. One that probably rubbed you the wrong way a couple of times.
He was a
but
black and white
not-
fan growing up.
Yeah,
I used to go
not in a bad way.
to, well, not go with him, but see him at the FC away games back in early noughties.
I want ginger hair too. As a chant used to go.
Yeah, great chant. But for Chris, in the 65th minute of the game this week, he scored his 50th try for Sheffield Eagles, which coincided with it being his 450th career appearance in what is his last ever game at the professional level of rugby league as he retires. Again, great servant to the game. 450 games is no joke. You could argue that, when you get dropped down to Championship, they get a bit more rough and tough, and there's a few more elbows and things in there as well, so to keep going after all them years. So all the best to Chris.
A kid who started quite late in the game as well. I was under 17s at Mighton, and I think he was in his first or second season that year, and then he got picked up by Hull while he was playing at Mighton. So he came in relatively late to the game, and yeah, he's forged a great career for himself.
Just runs in their family though, doesn't it, as well? Because his brother used to play, and
Yeah, I played rock with Liam a couple of times, or against him. It's Liam, innit? Yeah.
Liam and there's another one as well, Matty, I think it is.
Matty Wellham.
Matty,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did I mean Matty?
No, there is a Liam as well.
Yeah.
Also played for Rovers, I believe, didn't he? At some point.
So, moving on to the final big bit of news. So, as of today, Salford have officially withdrawn their application to be in Super League next year. There's a lot flying around on this, and we can't confirm any of the facts around it, but it's been known for some time that financially it's been a very poor state for them, and it looks like they've been fulfilling their fixtures to get the TV deal with Sky over the line for the end of this year, but they won't be able to continue at a Super League level, and they've possibly made the right decision to withdraw the name going forward. What's interesting about this is, as hopefully most people know, teams have been able to put themselves forward to say, look, we're officially applying for Super League. 9 clubs have done this. Of the 9 clubs, 7 of them are clubs that currently play in the Championship. The 2 that haven't are yourselves, Hull FC, have put the name forward, and the second team as well was Castleford, I believe. Huddersfield. They've come forward to say, look, and we don't know on the IMG gradings, we don't know what's going to happen, and we don't know who's going to be in there. There are heavy rumours flying around tonight, and we believe it's been semi-confirmed that York have announced tonight that they are going to be a Super League team, but none of it has come through officially. And so we're not going to say right here, but hopefully by the time you listen to this on Wednesday, there might be some more news around that. But as it stands right now, Salford will definitely not be one of them. The only thing we do know is the teams that we can pretty much guess at that are going to be the top in the grading.
Final confirmation of the league is set to be announced on October 16th.
Don't leave a lot of time, does it, for the teams to get set and ready?
I mean, it looks like
Pre-season
York
start
are
2
already
weeks later.
playing.
You're saying that though, but that's announced. These clubs must have
York must have had an inkling. When
Yeah, exactly. They must know something because
It's a bit like us signing Liam Knight before it got announced that we were up in the quota. We knew, but it had not been announced
Yeah.
officially. So York will know.
I think the
would
clubs that are
imagine.
coming up will already know.
So, quick question on that. I'll just read the clubs out to you. Just a quick one to wrap up the news. We're aware that Salford will be dropping out then. So that's one team down. That means we need to find 3 teams.
Yeah.
Of the teams here, we won't include Huddersfield and Hull. The teams here that have like really put the name forward: Bradford, Doncaster, London, Oldham, Toulouse, Widnes, and York. Nice and quickly, who do you want?
York, London, and Toulouse.
York, London, and Oldham.
York, London, and Toulouse. Same as Jimmy.
About yourself?
I think London.
I'd have picked them 3 for you to put Hull and Huddersfield in there anyway.
Yeah, so would I.
Yeah.
I think for me,
No, I'd have added Toulouse if Huddersfield was out.
definitely York. Pretty confident I'd quite like London back in there.
Especially with the Darren Lockyer links.
That's. I know the Beaters. Sorry to jump in. I know the Beaters away last year. But I thoroughly enjoyed my trip down to Wimbledon
I
last
thought
year.
it was last year.
Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, maybe Oldham. I'm a bit unsure. But yeah, on London, we didn't mention it in the news tonight, just to wrap up. But it does look like Darren Lockyer is buying a majority stake in that club. And again, it's not official as of today. And I hasten to jump in on what looks like it's going to be official very soon. But
I mean, there's
That
pictures
could
of
be a
him
big deal.
on
I
the
know.
London Broncos Twitter already, so it's a bit like York know they're coming up, but it's not
Who
confirmed.
were your 3? You didn't answer. Or did
I said York, Oldham, London. I
So
don't
split
care.
2 and 2.
you know what the problem is? We all know Bradford are going to get a spot.
Oh, God. What a dive.
I don't want to go to that dump.
Yeah.
That was news from around the world.
Literally around the world.
Yeah, Darren Lockyer, Aussie.
France.
Toulouse, France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually thought
Oldham.
Jimmy a joke because when you said Toulouse, I heard Toronto because I thought you was going to have a pop. And
I
was
was
like,
going to say Toronto, but I thought, it's a bit long in the tooth now, innit? I mentioned it enough, but I would love Toronto to be back in the league. I'd move back.
Me too.
Moving on.
I'd move there.
on to some previews then.
You guys first.
Us first. We spoke about it a little bit in our wrap up section of last weekend's games. We need to see that statement. We need to go out there and prove that we haven't hit our height, we haven't hit our apex, because the rest of the league is looking at us. So for me, we need to go out there, and given that Hull just put 34 on them, 34-2.
We
Like,
wasn't.
and you
we
ma-
was good.
Yeah, and you
We
mentioned
was
about
good. That was.
us not beating teams as pretty as what Wigan did, but we need to do more to Warrington than what you did, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
From a fan's point of view, obviously Willie will be wanting a response, I would assume. So it's just where he's going to go with the selections. Looks like we've got a clean bill of health. I think everybody's back now.
Yeah, Sue and obviously
Apart from
Budgie
Sue.
missed
Yeah.
out, but they had a chance to prove the fitness. Budgie still seems to be carrying a little bit of a knock and he still may not play. Sue, I don't think would play him even if he looks like he's ready. I think he needs that more time off. But hopefully, Gilly's had another week of fitness under his belt and feels a bit more
How did he
routine.
look actually, Gildart on Saturday? I know it
Bit
wasn't a great
rusty.
performance, but
Rusty,
overall.
he scored well. It was a nice try
It was
that
a
he
great
got.
I've seen the
try.
try. I've
Yeah,
just
it was a
not
great
seen the
try.
overall
He
performance.
probably doesn't have that partnership with Broadbent that the other players have because he's barely been here this season with the injury he had. You think
And-
how long Gilly's been gone out for.
Not to mention that, it was him and Budgie. If Budgie had been playing on Saturday, I'm not saying we'd have seen a different result because Wakefield were just absolutely unbelievable, but you'll have seen a difference in the partnership because of that bond that they'd already formed.
We'll see what I mean. Wire have got a chance to do just such a funny thing, haven't they? Turn us over and just be hilarious. But for me,
Well, sorry, just on that, it wouldn't be a surprise for this season. You got Catalans who went to Salford a week before, lost, and then went to Leeds and won. These things, they've thrown up results.
no,
Wait,
they beat Salford in the end, didn't they? Just by 1 point.
did they?
Yeah, it was
All right,
17,
sorry. Well, all right.
16
I
or
get
something.
your point.
Cass getting done at Cass beating Wakey and
Just
then
have
Wakey
to
beating you. Yeah,
Fact check you sometimes.
sorry. I'm not normally wrong on my facts. either.
For me, I say we always trust in it. People only focus on the negatives. We are probably deserving of that. I think we had a bit of a lengthy discussion earlier about this, and rightly so, because of how we played earlier in the season. We have a player in the league that's probably the number one attraction for that. People only ever focus on the Mikey negatives. Even our own fans, wrongly.
People hate success, that's why.
Even the Wakey fans shouting horrible chants about his baby at the weekend, you know. That's just what happens when you're a player like that in the limelight. And that's the team we are at the minute. We've been in the limelight for so long this year. I think we'll get that statement. I don't think it's going to be 40, 50, 60 points, but I think it'll be 20, 30. I think we might just run away and have a great time. And all of a sudden, if we do put that performance in, it's all forgotten. No one remembers the Leeds defeat. No one remembers the first half against Wakey, because all of a sudden it's Rovers look dangerous, don't it? Just like, you know, some people say, well, why are you so poor, aren't they? But it all changes on the day, and that's why we love rugby league. And for me, I think we'll see the result. And as much as part of me will probably worry and feel nervous throughout the game, I trust in the process, I trust the players, and I trust Peters, and you just have to expect it'll be a good win.
If we're 18-0 up after 10 minutes, I might feel all right. But we'll see.
I think it's more for the players, the performance. Like, yeah, it make you guys feel good and people are looking and go, yeah, Rovers looking good. But it's for the players just to take that momentum in to the playoffs and just go, yeah, what happened, but we're back now.
I'd much rather be taking 5 wins into playoffs than 1.
Of course you would, but...
Is what it is, isn't it?
Yep.
Shit happens.
And at the same time, we wrap up our season. Well, I think we'll be wrapping up our season, don't you?
Probably.
Unless for a man of miracle.
Only by virtue of the fact that they're playing Salford.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, I didn't realise who their last game was against, and we were sort of talking. I was like, it's all right, there's a week left to go, and then he just pipes up and he's like, they've got Salford next week.
The only Hull fan who didn't know Wakey had Salford the last game of season.
Every week when there was counting down, when there was like 6 games to go to the playoffs, 5 games to go, they kept doing some stats who had the hardest running. And it was like Rovers had the hardest running in comparison to Wigan, based on form, based on how teams were at. And Wakey pretty much had the easiest one, apart from us, which obviously didn't turn out to be a thing. They lost to Castleford, they beat us, but the way it worked out on form, they had the easiest run. And this week obviously is no different, because as much as we love what Salford have done at times this year, especially recently in recent weeks,
the last 2 weeks have really
they've
put a shift in all season. The players that have taken to the field, but especially these last 2 weeks, they got beat by Catalan in the end.
Oh, did they?
Apparently so.
Right.
Just by a point.
Put a real shift in for 60 minutes yesterday.
Just ran out of steam
They
yesterday,
didn't they? Was it the beat a few weeks ago? Was it Cass? The beat a few weeks ago. Can't remember now. But yeah,
Can't remember.
I just think they're going to come up a bit short on Friday. They'll put a stint in again.
Warrington.
No doubt about that.
Beat Warrington at Warrington.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So back on us though, I think just get the win. Just finish the season on a high. 2 good wins to wrap up the season. If it gets us into the 6, great. If not, we'll be 7 points. We'll be in 7th place, 9 points clear of 8th place. When you beat Warrington, I just think I'll be a little disappointed not to get in the 6. But all in all, I'm thrilled.
I think if you don't get in the 6, you'll look back on the years to come and realise it was a missed opportunity to be in the 6. No, and a serious question on that. Quickly, percentage out of 10, whatever. What do you rank your chances of beating Catalan, a team that have found a bit of form recently?
5 out of the last 5,
and
I think.
are looking not dangerous is unfair. And what do you think your chances of it happening that you get that win and you make the 6?
Confident we'll get the win.
Yeah, I've got us down for a win.
I've got us down for a win as well. I think it'll be a lot tougher game than we've just had. I just think, I don't know. I know we haven't built any momentum, but I just think there's a little bit of a buzz with the young kids, and I think because this is probably going to be the last game, they've got nothing to worry about after this. So yeah, everything on this game, and yeah, I do see us picking up the 2 points.
At the end of the day, though, like even if you don't make the 6, it's like what a season for you guys. Like you predicted, you'd be happy with 8th to 10th.
I
finishing
think I said
7th.
9th. I think you said the same, didn't you?
Yeah, 8th to 10th. I think I said 10th. What? Go on, sorry.
I did specifically say 9th. I wouldn't be happy with 10th.
No, but it would still been an improvement.
Yeah.
But yeah, we said 8th to 10th as that sort of a bracket with an improvement in sort of
I'm thrilled.
on-field
not
performance.
On
Exactly,
and
yeah,
off the
yeah.
pitch
Not
this
to get
season.
waylaid though, but you have to think about the teams that are below you as well. And it goes in that ranks like Huddersfield, okay at times, but very poor and a lot of injuries. Like generally their highlights of the year are beating you. There isn't much else for them. Then you've got Salford, we know the trouble they've had. Wyatt are absolutely dire. So you've got them free.
Like that.
If you're them the next
Didn't
team,
really
what does
know,
it
man.
say about you? So I understand why you want to be that, because they are not
get
a good
that, but
collection.
it's not like we're just the next team. It's like Dean was saying earlier. It looks like as long as you beat Warrington and we beat Catalan, there'll be a 9-point gap. That's not just being the next team. That's just being a massive gap.
You're inches from the playoffs at the end of the year.
We have finished below.
We are a Briscoe foot in touch that want
There you go.
looked at properly away from being in the playoffs.
You look at it like that. I look at
Why are a grounded ball away from being Challenge Cup finals?
Yeah,
a
I look
shovel
at it
dead.
like with the inconsistent statement that you've said numerous times this year, losing to Cass at home, losing twice to Huddersfield. They're games that, yeah, you can give it a pass this year because of what we're trying to build. Next year we don't get that pass. But teams that finished above us, 5 good teams on paper, 5 good teams for the majority of the season. A Wakefield team that have been building for this season 18 months ago. And then us. So, yeah, I don't look at it like them teams below us. No one could have envisaged why you're having the season that they had. That's obviously helped us. But Huddersfield, we was all thinking they've got a good squad on paper this year. And look how far they've dropped off. Yes, they had a bit of an injury crisis. But, yeah.
So have we.
So have we, yeah. With a lot smaller squad to deal with it, quality-wise. Just on players, there'll be no Sam Esse. We spoke about that earlier. Unfortunate that his time at the club's ended like it did, going off with a HIA. Cade Custy's a doubt, according to Cartwright today. He's been carrying a bit of an injury and has been playing through the pain barrier in recent weeks. I don't know if it's that hip injury that he's been carrying for most of the
Probably.
season. We do get Amir and Yusuf back from the bans, though. Yusuf will come straight in for SA, I think.
I'd leave
Amir,
that. I'd leave it.
I'm not.
You know what? If we're losing Kuss, because Kuss started on the bench, I'd bring Amir in on the bench. Deneve earned his chance to start again this
Yeah,
week.
it looked really, really effective from dummy half.
Really effective. Really just drilled into that team. Passionate. It looked like he was so thrilled to be back in that team, and it showed. You made me watch that clip before where our players dragged one of their players into touch to get the dropout, and he's going nuts. It's almost like he scored a try. He's got so much passion for the game. You can see it in that one 5-second moment. You can just see it, and that's what I want on the pitch. I don't want grubby Amir giving away penalties.
History will
Or
see.
2 forward passes.
Yeah,
Or
history,
two forward passes, yeah.
history is going to show us what you do on Thursday night in that selection. But if Catalan turn up the way they have the last few weeks, they've always had a big physical pack. They can always bring a challenge. The last thing you want is to have Amir Burra in the middle there, trying his usual tactics, getting involved in the because he won't win against them, and he won't be able to climb all over them because they just shut it down when they're on. If they don't turn up and play like they have done for most of the season, well, it doesn't matter then. But you've got a hooker there who's been sort of their talisman for the last couple of weeks and has led them, and he knows how they're going to play, and he knows where they're going. Why you would make that decision and put Burra in, I do not know.
I've just got a feeling he will.
He's
But
got a soft spot for him for some reason.
He has
I
got
don't
a soft
know why.
spot for him. But
I've not
we can't,
seen it.
We can't doubt his judgment. He's done so well for us as Cartwright this year. It'd be wrong for us to say you're wrong, because he's obviously
Cartwright?
not.
My mate Carty.
Sorry, that's his
Do you
full name.
think if they make the playoffs and they get some money, they might be able to buy Carty Senior a chair to sit on next season's
He
games?
still won't sit on it. There
There's
is chairs up
there's
there for him to
4,000
sit on.
chairs up there on that top tier that he's not interested in sitting in.
I'll tell you what, will give him a run for his money though. Luke Robinson yesterday when Huddersfield scored.
Bounding
The
down
ma-
the touchline.
yeah,
It was
like,
Pram Jose Mourinho, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You couldn't see him though. You saw him when he bounced off of the chair, the top of the chair, and then that was about it. Saw this little head popping
How
over
can you make short jokes?
because it's Luke Robinson
Okay.
and he's a bit short.
He's
than
about
me.
half
That's a
an inch
very
shorter than
valid
you.
point, yeah.
So
Big lad then, yeah.
you're massive.
Go on then.
Craig's time to shine.
Oh, Jimmy stole it this week. Right then, let's start off this shambolic fixtures arrangement from the RFL.
I am
Off.
fuming.
It's so stupid.
Oh, I've got a couple of points on this, you know. The first one is, nothing pleases me more, and it's done it several times this year, when I'm the only one out of us to back Hull, and I get a point for all winning.
I was the only one to back Wakefield, so I
Yeah,
got a
he
point
was,
for
yeah.
Wakefield.
And it
winning.
just always tickles me, and I'm like, can't believe you guys didn't fancy yourselves.
Well,
After the way that we played against you and the bans that we took, it was a really easy decision to not back us.
And also on the Predictions League, shout out to Angie, who I said before, I think just backs against Rovers every week, and it finally came in this week.
Do you know what?
she's had 5 points out of us.
Shout out to your dad for getting the wooden spoon.
Wooden spoon this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking it off me, Paul.
Paul,
Much obliged.
And then the second point, which I think you were just about to touch upon, is this nature of the fixtures and putting them at the same time. And there's been some comments online about it's not fair to do it this way. Now, I couldn't care about this, but I'll tell you what people are saying, that having the games set up like this means that if Rovers do lose, we're going to know what they've got to go after.
Rovers and Wigan should have been played at the same time.
And-
Hull and Wakefield
and
should have
not
been played
only
at the
Yeah, so
that-
if you want to have the excitement, that's how you do it. Because you have the teams that have got some at
There'll
risk.
be no helicopter with the league leaders shielding this year.
Not only that, if we lose and then Wigan don't win by whatever wraps up the 41-point swing, 42-point swing, we don't get to see Rovers lift the league leader shield.
Oh.
Is that?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, the,
This is. We shouldn't let.
Yeah, that's why I
this-
said 42-point
the
swing.
Spectators should not be talking.
the
during recording.
only problem you've got is, and this is classic RFL, is they know that us and Wigan get a home playoff game. It's guaranteed. So it's just, oh, they can have it there. But you don't want that noise.
No, you want it in
You don't
that
wanna
moment,
lose
don't
the-
you?
You
don't
do
wanna
not
lose-
want that before.
You don't want it before a playoff game. I mean,
And then
you
what
don't-
if you lose the
And then what
playoff
if you
game?
lose and you haven't had your moment in the sun to say, here's your league leader shield? Because all you're thinking is, well, I'm not going to grand final.
Yeah, you don't celebrate the league leadership.
Like-
the last
after
thing
you've
the
lost your
players want to do
semi-final.
is
It's
lift
different.
it.
It's different to what we were saying before, where you win the league leaders, you win it this week, you get it, you celebrate, then it's on to the next job.
It
But
also
damn
makes it
right, I won't be
difficult
thinking
for
about the league
travel.
leaders if
No,
they
you
present
won't.
it to me the day I've lost the playoff game.
They're having to
We
split
they
2
don't
games.
know what game to put on the screen.
So, anyways, yeah, I'm glad we all agree it's a shambles. I'm sorry to go on.
No,
Let's go
you're
on to
all right,
predictions.
because I was going to go on it anyway. So,
Come
by
on.
virtue of alphabetical order, over at the Circle, Hull FC versus Catalan, I've got Hull by 22.
See, I'm just throwing like the conversation. I've got Catalan by 8.
I won't be surprised at that. I've got Hull by 11, but I would not be surprised if we lost or if Catalan won.
What was that little squeal?
He's gone the odd number again. Your dad's gonna be real excited.
Oh, it's not mine.
Oh, what?
It's Abel's dad. It's Mike
Oh, it's
Abel.
Abel's
Yeah, it's
dad.
Mike.
Oh, all right.
Shout out, Mike.
Shout out, Mike Abel.
I've gone all by 10.
And Susan's got Hull by 20.
Wow, you are confident.
Yeah, it's like last
You've
week.
got
I
all
was
your
saying thing. I
players
said
back.
between Wigan and Rusty, this I can see going either way. I just don't see it being a blowout either way. Interesting.
Maybe. I've just got to try something, haven't I? At the end of the day, I've got to pull 9.5 points back out of 9.5 possible points for this
So
final round.
part of Listeners Lounge next week has got to be, what do you think potentially Craig's forfeit should be?
Luckily, I've got the 5 playoff games as well to
It's
It's-
pretty nailed on. Craig is doing the forfeit
Pretty
next
much.
season.
I'm
So-
But
9.5 behind.
It's out of Susan,
Jimmy.
Jimmy, and myself at the minute, unless Josh pulls a few good results out of his back. Who's going to be winning?
I feel
and
like I'm only 2 or 3 points behind you, but you've just forgotten about me.
The thing is, though, it's because we all more or less predict very similarly. So it's
Just you wait.
just as wait. All right, but yeah, we would love people's opinions. Put it in the YouTube comments. Put it on Instagram or Twitter or wherever. Tell us what you think the forfeit should be this year.
what you would pick?
Yeah, what would you pick? What would you make
There
Craig
have been rounds this year where, like, and I've done it where I've had like 7 and 8 points because I've had so many margins correct.
Okay,
You
right.
only have to have a week where you have 3 points. Craig gets 8, and all of a sudden you're like, there's 5 playoff games you could go either way. Or even for me, I don't think
I
it's a
couldn't
done
get
deal.
8.
All right, so it's out of Susan, Jimmy, me, and Josh. What forfeit Craig is doing next year?
I'm just praying Jimmy
happy
don't
now?
win.
No, I've got no chance.
Oh, it don't matter if I win. If Dean wins,
All right, I need
We've already-
either of them. I ain't
Yeah.
doing it.
you want him to win.
I won't do it.
Go on
Okay.
then. On to your game.
Anyways, over to the east of Hull, Wembley of the North, Hull KR versus Warrington. I want a response, and I've reflected. I was trying to power through
Come
that,
on.
and you've all just been a set of dicks. Anyways, I've got Rovers by 34. I want that response.
I've got Rovers by 20.
Rovers by 35.
You and your odd
I've explained myself numerous times this season. I don't have to do it again.
I got Rovers by 22.
Susan's got Rovers by 12. Over to the Lee Sports Village, and these four.
12?
Yeah, 12.
Yeah,
That's
let
what you
him
said. We
carry
were
on.
at 12, yeah.
Let him carry on.
12?
Yeah, 12.
No faith there.
No. These following four will be played on the Friday night. Lee versus Huddersfield at Lee Sports Village. I've got Lee by 22.
Lee by 24.
Lee by 16.
Lee by 12.
Got no faith in them, have you, James?
None.
Jimmy.
Susan's got Lee by 20. Over to the AJ Bell, Salford versus Wakefield. I've got No, I haven't. I've got Wakefield by 22.
Wakefield by 26.
Wakefield by 21.
That's 12 backwards.
21?
Got Wakefield by 24.
Come on, ADHD, Jimmy.
That's 12 times 2.
Oh, we digressed. And so Susan's got Wakefield by 27.
I've got no quick maths for that.
No.
Sorry, Josh.
Backwards at 72.
Over to the Totally Wicked then. St Helens versus Castleford. I've got St Helens by 30.
I've got Saints by 20.
Saints by 25.
I got Saints by 10.
10? Wow. Susan's got the St Helens by 18. And final fixture of the round over at the DW, Wigan versus Leeds. I've got Wigan by 10.
I've got Wigan by 12. I think even if Jake the Snake is fit,
12?
12.
For God's sake.
I think even if Jake the Snake's fit, they won't play him. I don't think it makes a difference for them, and I think you rest him to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I can't see Leeds having enough without him.
I don't like that though, because you need to, like we've already said, you need to carry that momentum into the playoffs.
Yeah, but
I'd bring him back.
The only person who knows that, I mean, it's the level of fitness though. Remember,
Yeah, unless
again,
he's really not
we're
fit.
doing this on Monday night.
Yeah.
If on Friday morning it's like, no, Jake Snake's definitely playing, and then Kieran's injured and Bevan French pulls a hamstring again, you sat there going, Leeds have got a chance here.
French play for Hull.
Pulling an hamstring.
You've never had a player that good.
Wigan by 5.
Swain.
5. I'll take that.
Ooh, I've done one for Abel as well. This Mike Abel. I've gone Wigan by 7.
I'll take that as well. I won't take this one, however. Susan's got Wigan by 30.
I mean, I'd love it. I would love it if they did.
Well,
it.
hopefully it'll be a moot
But
point.
it will, yeah, because the fixtures are at the same time.
RFL, sort your shit out.
So as always, well, thank you all for listening, but first of all, thank you as always to our main sponsor, Comscath, and thank you to the home of the pod, our very gracious host, Tribal, that you can hopefully see all around us. We love being here, and we don't mean any of the nasty things that you've heard or seen today. They're not true.
But the food's great.
So yeah, thank you as always.
See you, bye.
See you, bye.
See you, bye.
See you, bye. 12.